I'm making this video just to try to help anybody out there that really wants their relationship to work but doesn't know what's going on or how to do it. The first thing I would say is listen to your wife. Listen to your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, whoever you're with. Listen to each other. You should really listen. Not only listen, but also apply. And that's going to be the hardest part. Sometimes you listen, but applying what you hear what becomes the hard part of a relationship. That's where I messed up. I didn't apply. Secondly, get help if you have any type of issues that you think you aren't seeming to be able to handle, whether it's anger, lust, whatever thing that's bothering you that your significant other does not like that you can't seem to defeat. Go get help. Don't wait. If your significant other is telling you that something is bothering them a lot and you don't go get help, then you might lose that person. And trust me, losing somebody that you be with or have been with for a long time is very hard and painful for both parties. Even the party that ends up saying, I'm done with you. They're not just feeling good. They're going through pain as well. And nobody should have to go through that type of pain. Nobody should have to experience the type of pain of losing a loved one because you didn't do the necessary things to keep that person. But if that does happen, I want people to know that God is still with you. You can still survive. You can still move on. Okay? Because you have to think maybe this isn't the time for that relationship to flourish. And you can also have faith and believe that maybe you two can get back together after you work on yourselves. You have to take a break, maybe have relationships with other people. It can happen. Just because the person you care about or love ends up in a relationship with somebody else doesn't mean that relationship they're in with somebody else is going to last forever. Because if you have issues and you take them into another relationship, chances are that relationship will fail eventually too. That's just how things work. So we all need to be looking at ourselves and trying to see what we can fix in ourselves. Don't finger point and blame somebody else because everybody has issues. And when you get into a relationship and you start to finger point at the other person all the time, I believe that once you get into a different relationship and then you start to see the same type of patterns happening, you start to realize that no, it's not just that other person. It was something in you that was causing the problems as well. Now, for the other party that, you wish the person would have noticed things when y'all were together, you just have to be patient. Have faith in God through the long suffering. Okay, a lot of people don't understand what that means. When you have faith in something, when you say you believe something, well, faith doesn't have a time limit. A lot of people say they have faith in something, they believe in something, and then they say they had faith and believed. That's not how it works. If you have faith in something, you have faith in it, and it doesn't go away until you die. That's the type of faith God speaks of in the Bible. He doesn't speak of faith that has an ending date. He speaks of faith that is undying, faith that lasts forever. That's the faith that God speaks of. He doesn't tell people to have faith in him and then give up as soon as things get hard. Or give up because, 10 years passed and it didn't happen yet. So, oh well. That's not the faith that God speaks of in his word. This faith that God speaks of in his word lasts forever. It's undying. That's why he says faith through long suffering. Because sometimes it takes a long time for things to work out how you believe. But if you can hold on to the faith through that time and continue to have your hope while living by God's will, trusting his way, and working towards what you have faith in, it will happen. My wife one time said to me, you think God's a genie and When she said it, I kind of got offended. But then I thought about it later, like, you know what? God is a genie. Where do you think genies came from? The whole idea of genies comes from God. No, he may not just grant any wish, but he actually can. He says in his own word, come to me with prayer and supplication and ask me what you want. Meaning God will give you what you're asking for. If you can have the faith and patience in what you're asking for, it will come to pass. And I have spoken into existence the healing of my marriage. And I am telling people, just watch God work. Watch him work. My marriage right now is in shambles that anybody who's watching say there's no chance you guys will ever stay married or be together again. And I'm telling people through faith, watch. Just watch. Because I'm going to be watching too. But I already believe and I already know that God has worked. And we have already been healed. And our marriage has already been put back together by God. I'm just walking towards it, waiting to see it for myself, even though I see it in the spirit. The flesh has to catch up sometimes. No matter how bad it gets, if you trust in God, he can move mountains. And I believe he's going to move a mountain in my marriage. But first, I have to work on myself and allow God to work on my wife. That's why sometimes you have to separate, to allow God to work. So, people, if you have a loved one, I would suggest trust God first, then work on yourself, and allow whatever God's plan is to come to pass without trying to interfere. And just remember that all things work together for the good. To them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. All things, not some, but all. All right? Have a good day.